After listening to Samira, Mahi got very angry and she said to herself, "Oh Lord Shiva, how fake is this Samira? She is talking so arrogantly." Mahi was getting very angry but she kept herself calm and said, "Mother, I didn't do anything intentionally. It just happened by mistake. And I even said sorry." Ruhi also agreed with Mahi. Then Samira started staring at Ruhi. She started staring at Mahi. Dadi took Mahi's favor and said, "Yes, Mahi is right. Anyway, our Mahi is very cute. She will never hurt anyone intentionally." Anita ji and Sunita ji also agreed with Dadi. Seeing everyone favoring Mahi, Samira was getting very angry. Some time back, she was admiring Mahi's beauty. While looking at Mahi, she was drooling. And she was thinking again and again, who is this girl who is staying in Ranvir's house? She was feeling a little insecure with Mahi. Vaishali also said with a fake smile, "Oh, so where did I say that she deliberately made me fall? I was saying that she should look at Mahi and walk." Sunita ji had already asked the maid for tea and breakfast. The maid came and put breakfast on the table. While Vaishali was staring at Mahi with strange eyes. She thought to herself, after all, who is this girl on whom the family is giving a lot of love? Vaishali ji asked while drinking tea, "By the way, Anita, didn't you tell me who this girl is?" Dadi was waiting for this question for a long time. She smiled and said, "Mahi, her name is Mahi. And she is the daughter-in-law of this house. Means, our Ranvir's wife." Dadi had to say that Vaishali and Samira's mouth remained open. Their faces were made as if someone had blown a big bomb on their heads. Dadi and Ruhi were having a lot of fun seeing their faces. Ruhi also said one more blast, "Actually, Ranvir brother likes Mahi a lot. And he also said that he will marry only Mahi. Otherwise, no one." Samira was able to control her anger with great difficulty. She wanted to destroy everything here. She said with a fake smile on her face with great difficulty, "I have to go to the washroom." Sunita ji said to Ruhi, "Ruhi, take Samira to the guest room." Ruhi said with great difficulty, "Okay mom, let's go Samira, I will show you your room." After Samira left, Vaishali ji said with a fake smile, "Anita, you didn't even tell about Ranvir's marriage. By the way, what was the hurry of the marriage? And you should have asked us once." Hearing Vaishali's words, Anita ji asked Mahi to go to her room. Mahi got up and went to her room. Then Anita ji said in a deep breath and a calm voice, "Look Vaishali, these things don't make any sense now. Because Ranvir is married to Mahi. And Ranvir also likes Mahi." Vaishali ji said with a little anger, "But I had already talked to you about Samira and Ranvir's relationship. In fact, we came here so that this time we can fix the relationship between Ranvir and Samira." Hearing this, Grandma said, "Look Vaishali, when you talked about Samira's relationship, we had asked Ranvir to get married. But then he said that he considers Samira only as his friend. And he doesn't want to marry her. So we couldn't force him, right? And we had already given you the answer to this." Vaishali insisted, "But mom, my Samira's heart is broken. You know that she liked Ranvir since childhood." Grandma said this with a little strength, "But now it doesn't mean anything. And Samira will get some other good boy. So it would be better not to mention this again in this house. End this thing here." Saying this, Grandma got up. She went to her room. Before that, Sarika and Rudra also came there. Sunita ji introduced Sarika to Vaishali ji. And sat near her and asked, "What did the doctor say? Is everything okay?" Hearing Sunita ji's words, Rudra was happy and said, "Good news mom, you and your aunt are going to be grandmothers." Then he hugged her and said, "And you are going to be a great grandmother." Hearing this news, everyone present there became happy. Except Vaishali. But to show everyone, she also congratulated everyone with a fake smile. Vaishali's mind was burning inside. Vaishali and her family wanted Samira to marry Ranvir. Because she knew Ranvir's status very well in the business world. which would benefit her own business too. But now all her desires were ruined. While in the washroom, Samira repeatedly tried to calm herself by spitting water on her face. When she looked at her face in the mirror, her eyes were red with anger. She looked at her reflection in the mirror and said, "I will not leave this Mahi. She snatched my Ranvir from me. But I will not give up so easily. I have waited for Ranvir a lot. And I can't let him belong to anyone else. Ranvir is only mine. I will remove Mahi from his life. Ranvir will have only Samira in his life. Only Samira." Saying this, a poisonous smile appeared on her face. Mahi and Ruhi ran to Sarika's room and hugged her. Ruhi said, "I will become an aunt." Mahi also said happily, "And I will become an aunt." Then Rudra's voice came from behind. "And Chachi too." Hearing this, both went and hugged her. Rudra placed his hand on their heads and said with a smile, "Now both of them have been promoted." Mahi raised her head and said, "Yes, brother-in-law, I will feed baby to Chotu a lot." Ruhi said with a smile, "No, I will feed baby to Chotu. I will name her too." Now both Mahi and Ruhi started fighting over this. Sarika and Rudra were laughing at their fight. Rudra said with a smile, "Stop fighting like Tom and Jerry." Both of them started feeding baby and naming her too. After spending some time with Sarika and Rudra, they both went back to their room. While Mahi was going back to her room, Vedant appeared in front of her. Mahi placed her hand on her waist and stared at him angrily. Vedant, who was talking to someone on the phone, he saw Mahi staring at him angrily and stopped. He disconnected the call and asked her, "Mahi, what happened? Why are you looking at me like this? Did something happen?" Mahi said, "I am very angry with you, Vedant." Saying this, he tied his hands while opening his mouth. Vedant asked her while making up, "What did I do? Tell me. I also want to know why my cute little friend is angry with me." Mahi said, "Do you even know what big problem you have put your cute little friend in?" When Vedant looked at her, Mahi said, "Where did you take Priya? Do you even know what she will do to me now?" Vedant said very relaxed, "She won't do anything. Don't worry." Mahi said, "You don't know her. She has sent so many threatening messages since yesterday. She has called me so many times. But I didn't answer any of her calls. Then she made a face and said, she has abused me a lot. She thinks that I deliberately stopped you for lunch. That's why you got a chance to trouble her." After seeing Mahi's behavior, Vedant started laughing. He controlled his laughter and said, "She won't do anything to you. If she says anything to you, tell me. I will handle her." After listening to Vedant, Mahi said, "Okay, I will leave now." Then she stopped for a while and said, "But don't tell her that I have complained to you. Otherwise, she won't leave me." After Mahi's words, Vedant laughed and said, "I won't let her know. Is it okay now?" Mahi smiled, nodded her head and left. Everyone had dinner at night and went to their rooms to rest. Mahi was again feeling empty in her room. She went to the balcony for a while. Today, the full moon was looking very beautiful in the sky. She sat on the swing and looked at the sky. She started looking at the beauty of the moon. She was thinking about Ranbir again and again. Mahi was still afraid of Ranbir. But it was also true that she was now used to Ranbir. She didn't feel lonely in the room. She was reminded of Ranbir's constant trouble, his love for her, and his forceful approach to her. Ranbir was lying on a bed in a hotel room in Mumbai. He was not sleepy either. He was also used to sleeping in Mahi's arms. Mahi's sweet scent came from her. Mahi's fluttering in her arms, her running away from him, and her hiding her head in Ranbir's arms. His face. Ranvir was sometimes surprised that he could be so restless for a girl. He was not able to bear it anymore. He got up from the bed and stood in front of a big glass window. Ranvir smoked a cigarette and put one hand on the glass of the window and started smoking it. The view of the city from the window was looking very beautiful. The cars running on the roads in the distance, the city lights, everything was looking very beautiful. After standing like this for a long time, Ranvir smoked a cigarette in the ashtray and came back to his bed and sat down with his headdress on his back. He started looking at Mahi's pics on his phone. Looking at Mahi's pics, he remembered how Mahi was sleeping holding him tightly in the arms. As if he loosened his grip even a little, Ranvir would leave him and go. Mahi used to sleep holding her teddy bear tightly before marriage. But now, after marriage, Ranvir took the place of her teddy bear. Thinking this, Ranvir laughed. He kissed Mahi's photo with love and put the phone aside. He did not want to talk to Mahi yet because he felt that if he talked to Mahi now, his restlessness would increase further. He held a teddy bear tightly in his arms and started trying to sleep. But he fell asleep in a while. There, in Indore, Mahi was also sleeping holding her teddy bear. She also had a very difficult sleep. Next morning, Samira was sitting on the sofa holding her head in her room with her mother. Everyone's love with Mahi was making her very angry. She felt that Mahi has taken her place in this house. Mahi was getting the love that was supposed to come in her share. Vaishali sat next to Samira and asked, "Samira, why are you getting so worried, dear?" Samira looked at her mother and said, "Mom, I can't bear it anymore. I can't accept defeat like this. That too, from that girl." Vaishali said, being worried, "But dear, nothing can be done now. Ranvir is married to Mahi." Samira said with a mischievous smile, "So marriage can also break." What is going on in Samira's mind? What conspiracy will Samira create? Will Mahi be able to escape the conspiracy being created against her? To know more, keep listening to Oh Baby only on Love Pulse Diaries.